This is RPGDad.
RPGNate.
And this is our weekend gaming wrap-up. This weekend we continued with Prince of Undeath. And let's see, we had our regular group -1, but the one player is married to another player, so the druid wasn't there, but the wizard was. The wizard brought the druid's character. So we still had our 5 characters in the group, but there were only 4 at the table. So we had our executioner, a thief, our artificer, wizard, and druid.
Yeah.
So where did we start?
We started in the Great Hall, which you guys did start off talking to him. You weren't gaining passage, though. I was making it so you had to fight this encounter.
Yeah, and that ended up being, what, a couple of... Was that the...
This was the one with the aspect of Orcus.
Okay, so that had the aspect of Orcus and a bunch of other critters and some, 2 storm... What were they? Like storm devils and... What were the other things?
There were storm devils and mesodemon throne guards.
Okay, so... And this actually went pretty easy. We did...
No one really had, super high damage attacks. I think the highest damage attack in this room was the, Burst 2 that I used on you guys.
The demons, the devils?
Yeah, that did 4d10 plus 9. And that did that hurt most of you. I think, when I did it on the wizard, he had a variable up.
Yeah, but, I think we got through it. And it's kind of funny because the wizard's constantly wanting to drop to 0 hit points because then everything takes damage from him, and he never gets to a 0 hit points. So we got him healed up again for the next encounter. But we got through this. We picked up our treasure. We did what we had to do. This was really a pretty easy room. You start off in these 2 devils when you walk in, are chained to the wall and being tortured. But you figure, well, maybe they'll ally with us and help us if we make some kind of check or talk to them, and they don't. They still fight for Orcus, even though they're not there to really hang out with Orcus.
No, they were captured and... Let's see, what is it? Captured and corrupted by Orcus.
So, yeah. But once the Orcus thing went away, we were able to rationalize with them. We released them, and... that took care of the encounter. Yeah. It went pretty easy. I really thought that the aspect of Orcus would have been a lot worse, but how many hit points did he have?
664.
Okay, so that's nowhere near. We're missing like 900 points for when we actually meet Orcus. But, this thing didn't have Death Touch or any of his wicked powers, so that's a good thing. Where did we go after the Great Hall?
The slave pens, I think slave kitchens.
Yeah, this was actually a pretty funny encounter.
So to get to this encounter, they had to jump down this pit that was a 100-foot drop, but because they all had either a featherfall ring or some flying, or I think the wizard has a thing where he just floats down.
Well, even if I didn't have the featherfall ring at this point, I could have used the flying hook or my climber's rope. I could have gotten down there 2 or 3 different ways.
Yeah, so it wasn't too hard for you guys to do that.
We pretty much said, okay, we'll jump down the hole, and we jumped down the hole, and it was no big deal.
Yeah.
So, once you get higher level characters, if you're going to have stuff thrown at you where you have to fall, never forget your featherfall ring.
I'd say the featherfall ring is useful everywhere. Even if you're not in a campaign where you might fall, something might have a teleporting ray, and if the DM uses it right, it'll just teleport you straight up.
Yep.
And
then you take all that damage.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
And you can avoid taking that damage with a featherfall ring.
And they're not that expensive, so, that's a piece of equipment that's good. I mean, I know a lot of people, they like to just put as much stuff on that gives them resistances and all. But sometimes you have to think, well, I don't have resistance to just kill you damage from falling.
Yeah.
So if you have a 1,000-foot fall, the DM can't kill you unless you're falling into a pool of lava. If it's just flat Earth, you're down there, you're fine. You're feather falling, you're good.
Yeah.
So it's a handy thing to have.
Yeah.
Now this encounter, the slave kitchens, was funny.
Yes. So you guys walked in, and you see all these slaves around the room, and I just made up some random number. I said 50. slaves were around. I think there might have been a number. I don't know. I don't really care.
Yeah, but, it's not important. It was just funny because we walk in and, our wizard's still disguised as the Ghoul King.
Yes.
And I had a mega roll this week on the Ghoul King bluff.
I think you rolled a 19 and ended up with a 42.
Yeah. So it was going to be pretty hard for them not to believe he was the Ghoul King.
Yeah.
My bluff roll sucked, so I didn't do much in this until the Ghoul King was believed, and then everybody started talking in here, which it was funny because, we've been playing evil, but I also understand that we still kind of have a job to do because all those people had went missing in the previous thing, and this is an extension of that. And these were some of those people, right?
Doesn't say anything about that, but I assume so.
Yeah. So, even though we've gone evil, I think our one member of the group, the Artificer, wanted to ghoul all of them.
He didn't say anything about that.
He was sitting there like he wanted to do it. I just wanted to kill the Eldarin. And there were two of them there.
I rolled a d10 to see how many Eldarin there were, and I rolled 2. And the first thing he does is he was like, all right, can I torture him? And they're like, sure. And he just walks down to over where they are, and he just starts poking them.
Yes.
Like a dick.
I did. I started poking them. I'm embracing the drow and the hatred for the Eldarin and my badness. But
as long as you don't play a dark elf, because our wizard's most likely going to play a high elf, you'll be fine.
Yeah, in the GURPS campaign when that starts. But this was I'm just having fun with the character right now. We're getting pretty close. I'm level 28, getting close to 29. We're getting close to everybody's epic destinies, finishing off this thing and moving on. And I'm just having fun with the character. I think some of the most annoying DMs out there are the ones that say, oh, you can't have an evil campaign. You can't have an evil character.
This is an evil campaign.
Well, he means where the players are evil. There are DMs that are like that. You can't play evil. Well, you know what? You're an ass if you do that. The players should be able to play what they want. If they run into paladins, they suffer the consequences if you're using stuff that has detect evil or stuff like that. But honestly, I've gotten to the point where I really think alignments are bullshit. They really are. And I think we're going to start recording that video maybe today or tomorrow. We have a lot of stuff to do as far as getting the minis finished for the challenge this week. But
so what is today, Monday?
It's Monday, and deadline for people getting minis in is noon today. But we'll see what we get, and ours will at least go up for this first week. And hopefully people will start being like, yeah, we want to paint some minis, put them on there.
Also, real quick, I received a question on the blog about whether or not I was gonna.
Why don't we answer that at the end of this?
All right, I'll answer.
So we're gonna add some Q&A to our stuff at the end. So we'll put some stuff up with a write up on this as well. But what I was saying about the evil campaigns, I mean, DMs are just wrong. Let your characters play what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a problem with evil characters, I don't think you really should have a problem with evil characters. You have a problem with the way that people are playing evil characters, and we'll be talking about that in some vlogs that we're going to do, and hopefully that'll kick your players in the ass. We're at this.
Yes.
But anyway, we get here and the slave master's there, and the Ghoul King in disguise sits there, and he convinces them he's the Ghoul King, and they're asking why we're there, and we're like, well, we still need to release the moorings. We have, we got to do all this kind of stuff, and we're heading back to the ship because we just released the final mooring, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, whatever, and we're like, well, the crew all got killed or left the ship. They were killed by adventure, so we need some slaves to muck the deck and do all the dirty work. So let us have these.
Well, he's like, well, I can't give you all of them. We need some. And he starts arguing with him because there are two Eldrin. He's like, we want 48.
Yeah, 48 out of 50. You can keep the Eldrin.
Yeah, but he wasn't going with that. He offered them 10, and he continued with the...
You go, you can have 10. I go, okay, how about 48?
Yeah, and you guys go back and forth.
And you go, how about 20? I go, how about 48?
Well, no, before the 20, RPG Jim, she started talking, and she's like, all right, I'm the captain here. And you're like, you're the captain?
Well, she was disguised as a captain. She bluffed this time. But I said, she agreed to 20, and I said, no, we're not taking just 20. I said, we're taking 48. And then when the guy kept saying no, I said, okay, we're taking all 50. And that's when our artificer stepped in, and what did he do?
Well, first he's like, all right, so we can get you, what was it, 20 or 30?
20 fresh humans, because these were supposed to be pretty beat up and decrepit.
Yeah, 20 fresh humans. And
I said, yeah, you'll be able to torture them longer. And I knew right away what he was doing.
Yeah, but he set you guys a timeline. He gave you like 2 hours, and because he wasn't going to give you the slaves before you gave him the people.
Yeah.
So you guys get the ghouls. You dress them up in the skin suits that you received last
season.
Yeah, last season. In the Theater of Screams, or whatever the hell it was called. And he's like, all right. And he throws them in the cage. He just gives you all of them. And you finally agreed to 50 because I guess you felt sorry for the Eldrin or
No,
something?
I didn't feel sorry for them. I just figured I could kill them on my own. They didn't have to do it.
Yeah, but so you take them and you move on to the next encounter. You don't bother with any of the others.
Yeah, we just moved on, and it was hilarious because it was like 10 minutes of arguing, negotiating, and the artificer stepped up to the plate and he remembered the skin suits and brought all these fake humans in, and we had a good laugh out of that.
Yeah. And also it was nice because one of our players actually printed out some maps for these. I guess he has a large-scale printer.
It was awesome. He's got a large-scale printer. I feel bad because he's running the ink out. We got to do something nice for him.
I gave him 2 level 30 magic items.
No, I think we have to do something nice for him. Maybe what you should paint today, paint a wizard mini and let him have it.
Yeah. He ran out as, what was the color?
Cayenne and magenta. Yeah. Cyan.
Because the maps here, they have this red background.
Oh, yeah, it just burns through it. So I told him, just do it grayscale because the black is cheaper if you're going to print maps like that.
Yeah.
Because we don't need the color.
No, not really. I mean, the color makes it look fancier, but I think it'll actually look better with the black and white because when you get done blowing them up, they're a bit out of res.
Fuzzy.
Yeah, fuzzy. So the black and white might actually help with that.
But anyway, we move to the next encounter. And what do we see when we come back to this room but a couple of beholders and a lich.
2 more beholders, and this time they were beholder eyes of death, so they were a lot more powerful.
A lich and then some minions. So I decided I was going to... Well, first the first thing I attacked was one of the beholders, and I nailed him good.
I think you did like 80 damage.
No, that was like 90. I think everything I did until I ran out of my backstabs were 90s, but then in this room I had, 3 crits after I ran out of backstabs, so it made up for it, and they were all like 130, 120 points of damage. But, the first one I did, I went after one of the beholders, because you always worry about the beholder, and I forgot the lich. And what did the lich do on his attack?
Well, he moves up, and he crits on you.
Bastard.
And the power that he had just used was called Gaze of Command. And this did 5d10 plus 9 psychic, so he was about to take 59 psychic because of that crit.
Well, I did take 59 psychic.
And he was dominated, save ends. Too bad he had your artificer gave you something that...
The artificer used a power that let me do a save, whether save allowed it or not.
At the beginning of your turn, which
But I also had Epic Will, which lets me save against that as well.
No, that's stunned and dazed.
Alright, but anyway, I did that, and that was one of my crits. When he gave me the freebie, I critted, and I'm like, haha, you were
Perfect
so
waste
mad.
Of a crit, though.
You were so mad, and then that's when I said, screw this, I'm killing the lich first.
Yeah.
Because the party did not need me dominated. That's a bad thing, because I can 2-hit and kill the entire party.
Yeah. Especially when I get your charge in.
But the bad thing is you don't get my backstabs, because that's a utility.
Well, your other thing.
But you get the charge and all, and it's still going to do massive damage to them.
And if I can manage to somehow get a flank, or get combat advantage, I can also use your...
That's a utility, too. I don't believe you can use the backstab.
That's automatic on combat advantage.
That's my choice. But anyway, we'll argue about that later.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if I crit, I'm using a D12 crit weapon.
First, let me describe the stuff in the room, because I've only described the beholders so far. The first one was Lich Castellan. He was a unique Lich. So,
But we're jumping ahead. If you remember, RPG Gem did a really good job. She came in, she negotiated with these guys,
yeah.
and we could have just walked through and gotten out. And I was
just like, all right, guys. So I'm just going to put it up to a table vote. Do you guys want to fight or stay? And I was kind of for you guys fighting because of these beholders, and I know how you guys like cutting the.
We like selling those eye stalks.
Yeah. So RPGGM was for not fighting.
She didn't want to fight at all.
Druid was for not fighting because she had been bribed by RPGGM for like $500,000 gold.
And then two of us, the wizard and myself, wanted to fight.
And then the artificer, because he's like, oh shit, I'm the tiebreaker. He's just like, all right,
odds fight, even leave.
Yeah, and he rolled odds.
He rolled a 15.
And RPG Jim's just like,
damn it!
Yeah. And he's just like, hey, it's not my fault. Blame it on the die.
She's like, damn it! I just spent 10 minutes arguing with this guy. We were through.
Yeah. You spent like half an hour arguing with the guy in the previous room, though.
But it was funny because, she didn't want to fight, and she ended up getting 2 awesome eye stalks out of the deal that she's going to add to her weapon.
Yeah, I got to remember what eye stalks you got.
I made notes on my. Okay. Made notes.
That is useful. I'll make notes in my notebook. I'm keeping notes on everything to keep track to move over into my.
And that's another thing that we've started doing. I think our best game aid we use, other than maps and stuff, is we bought some notebooks and we take them with us. I track my experience because I really hate.
We'll put a post.
I hate writing on my.
Aids.
I hate writing on my character sheet.
Besides, that thing's going to get thrown away. And
it does. And I love that E4 Metro or Metro 4E or whatever it is I use, the Windows program, because it makes it easy to track. But when you put the damn experience in, it doesn't save it. I mean, I know I've lost at least in the lower levels 50 to 100,000 experience points that I didn't write down that was in that program and threw me behind.
Yeah.
But now I write that down. I write the gold down, anything that we pick up. I had a list of all the eye stalks from the 3 that we killed previously. I kept a list of these, and then I just put check marks and names by who was getting what.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing you can do is have a notebook with you instead of writing on these generated character sheets. If you use a computer, throw it in Notepad. Don't use the Metro 4E because the Notepad doesn't even save right when you do it.
Yeah.
Pencil and paper, I mean, it's the best thing you can have at the table. Every player, the DM, you should all use that. It's the best aid you can ever use.
But
anyway, this actually took a long time, this combat.
Yeah, because total it was about 1,700 hit points you had to drain, and then you had 12 minions that the first thing they did was they basically created a wall so you couldn't get out.
There was still an avenue that was left for me because of my moves. That's another thing I love about the Thief. I'm not trapped as long as there's like one diagonal square away from an ally. I can move through an ally square, step out, and the minute I charge, because of the helm, the necklace, and the boots that I have, you can't attack me. There's no opportunity attack. So I can just get out of dodge and go, and that's when I said, screw it, I'm going to go start working that damned Lich, because he can't do that to me and make me kill the party.
He's coming back in a day, though. But
we probably won't run into him, though.
No,
because we'll be long gone on the ship.
In this room, there was a portal, and then there was a gate, and you guys never went to the portal. If you guys went to the portal, I don't know what would have happened, because it's a completely different thing. It's called Everlost. I don't know what that is. If you know what that is, leave it in the comments. Tell me what it is, please. Or
you can just read it. But is that a portal to a whole different thing?
Yeah.
A whole different set of encounters or module?
Possibly.
Well, that's crazy.
But if you know about what Everlost is, please post it in the comments below.
But anyway, this took a long time. 2 combat encounters. We usually play about 5-6 hours on Sundays. 2 of these combat encounters probably took 4 hours of the time. Now we did go through about 5 encounters, but a couple we talked our way through. There were skill challenges that we got lucky and didn't trigger the combat.
Yeah,
and these were some pretty big combats, and we had characters that got down fairly low on these.
Yeah,
and we still walk around with that red raven skull. We put our two healing surges in there, and when you're hitting these big encounters and you're not taking long rests, my character I think only has 7 healing surges, so I'm starting at 5 to start. And
well, luckily your healer doesn't use healing surges.
But you know what also is lucky? Every time I kill something with that sword of mine, I gain a healing surge.
Yeah, Nightbringer, he just hits 20 satisfied or whatever.
Well, I've been above 16, and I keep forgetting I have necrotic immunity. I remembered that partway through this, but it would have been handy if I remembered, because some of the attacks were necrotic attacks I was getting hit with. So I know when I fight Orcus, because everything he has is going to be probably necrotic, I'm going to be using this weapon.
Except for the Death Touch, which...
Yeah, there's no immunity on that, but regular attacks there, I can use my immunity on. So I've got to remember that. That's why I pulled the PDF. I was flipping back and forth. I might print that out and bring it in my notebook so I have it. But I've got to remember that stuff. I always remember I strip the necrotic immunity from enemies when I hit, but I forget that I am immune to necrotic attacks.
All right. So once you guys were done with that encounter, it took about 2 hours, like you said.
And then we cut off all the stalks.
Yeah. You went back to the Shevaathan, and this was where the skill challenge was. You failed once, I think, but the rest were successes.
Yeah, I think RPG Gem failed on one of them.
Yeah, she rolled a 22, I think, so there's
no way. She rolled really low. She rolled like a 1 or a 2.
There was no way you guys could assist her out of that. So that was definitely a fail. Basically what they were doing was they were trying to get it to where they could actually control the ship.
We were attuned to the ship, it seemed like. That was what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
But what would have happened if we failed? That's what I want to know. 3
Thunderblast Cyclones would have came out of the abyss.
And how bad were they?
382 points each. They weren't too bad. It was just, it would have wasted time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have gotten any more treasure off of them anyway. I mean, really, right now, the treasure is the ship.
Yeah. You would have gotten a little bit of extra experience, I think.
Okay.
That would have been about it, though. So then you go on to Shevaathan's Toll. You took an extended rest.
Well, Shevaathan's Toll was hilarious. This was another one. And this is one where a good party would not have done what we did. But, we didn't do the combat. And it was... Go ahead and give the description, because I think the whole thing was just hilarious.
What, the reading part?
Yeah.
All right. I was trying not to laugh while reading this just because it's funny. So here we go. A jolt shivers through the Shevaathan. The craft groans, and the jackal-headed monstrosity rides a line onto the deck. It has 2 massive arms that end in pincers, and 2 smaller human-sized arms, one of which holds a burning black skull. The creature screams. You pass the realm of Carthon. Pay the toll your liege Orcus. Agree to deliver to Tolmarth the Torturer. The demon waves a burning skull around as if it poses some kind of threat.
Yeah, so you've got this guy sitting there screaming, "Pay the toll!" and waving this skull around. So what do? Instead of everybody going, let's fight, I go, okay, what's the toll? And what was the toll?
3 living mortal creatures.
And I go, no problem. So I asked him, I said, I know I've got 2 Eldarin down there that are disposable. What else? And he rolls, and he's like, oh, you've got some Dragonborn, you got this, this, and this. I go, oh, fuck it. I go down, and I grab a Dragonborn and the 2 Eldarin, and I say, here you go. And he goes, and he's like, you may pass.
Yeah. That encounter was just hilarious. I just wanted them to negotiate with him. I didn't want the encounter to go. I just wanted them to actually go through and roleplay with this guy because it was just hilarious.
Well, it's funny because some of the group, they're like, well, we don't... That's why I say you can't say anything about the wizard and the druid because the wizard's like, well, we should probably fight. While they were all talking amongst each other, I said, all right, well, I'll walk down below decks. And I just walked down and I grabbed the 3 guys and I go, here, take them. I didn't care. And I know RPG Gem didn't give a damn. And I'm pretty sure the Artificer was almost wavering on this.
Well, he was saying, we could give the Eladrin and the dog. He didn't care about the Eladrin. So he's still like that. But he was trying to give the druid's blink dog.
Yeah, what the hell is that? Then she's got to give up a healing surge? She doesn't need that crap.
No.
So...
And then she has her blink dog pissed off at her for the rest of her life.
And they're sitting there debating, and I'm just like, you know what, screw it. I'm going down that Dragonborn and those 2 Eldarin, they're toast.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You may pass," and that was the end of it.
Yeah, and after this, I let them go and.
Well, that was the end of the play. So.
Well, you still had like 30 minutes left, but
No, it was. We had about 10 minutes left before when we say our stop time is, but the store's open later. We can play till 7, 8 o'clock at night now because they have the new store where everything's in one area. It's not where they have a small area that's gaming and they close an hour earlier than the store. So we could have stayed and played longer. I admit I was tired because of Call of Duty Overload this weekend. We had, 3 nights in a row where we played till 3 in the morning because of freaking double points weekend again.
Yeah.
And, I was exhausted. I just wanted to come home, eat some lasagna, and enjoy myself. But, we had 10 minutes left. You're like...
At least I got to Prestige 7.
We got that 10 minutes left, and you said, "Well, do you want to go back and take care of some weapons and stuff?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure. We'll take care of a business, and next week we'll come back refreshed." So we went back, and we've got this bag of holding filled with eye stalks, filled to the brim, probably. We have a lot of eyes. We had like 60 eye stalks, didn't we? Maybe
30.
more.
I think it was 30.
Well, it was probably closer to 40 because we were using some. It was 30 that we ended up selling. So we decided to go back to the guy that did the weapons mods for us before.
Yes.
And we go there.
He's a gnome, of course, a gnome.
Yeah, whatever. We go there and we start debating and we had 3 of some of the eye stalks. We had a bunch of one that nobody wanted and then 4 of all the others.
I was expecting somebody to take the petrification ray.
So was I, but
because that ray's awesome.
It's good, but the odds are pretty low that something you hit with that are going to fail 2 saves in a row.
Remember, the druid did it.
I know, but it's pretty low. The odds are low. So I went with the teleportation ray because I figure I'm going to throw something 10 squares up in the air, do the 4d8 of damage, and it's necrotic damage, right?
I don't know. So
I'll probably hit them with my sword first. I'll teleport them up and just turn them into roadkill by the time it's done. I'm gonna have fun with that, and but we sat there and
put recharges on some of those things just because.
Well, you put the recharges if you're using them in combination. If you're using it just by itself, you said no. Like the teleportation ray, you said yeah, you can do that. It's not a recharge.
I think the wizard took the -2 ray, but that won't be a recharge because
that just weakens. So
no, that does -2 to attack rolls.
Yeah, but that's a good thing to do to him.
Yeah, it's a really good controller thing too.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't take the go crazy ray where you push them and then they just run randomly because they go batshit nuts.
I think he was worried that. I think he was more worried that they might run back at him.
Yeah, that would be bad, I guess, but it's a funny ray. I mean, it did terrible things to RPG Gem. I don't know that we'd be that lucky, but you were pretty lucky using it against us. But we spent about 35 minutes. I mean, the wizard even called the druid on the phone and said, we've got all this stuff, what do you want? And she decided what she wanted.
It was a teleportation, right?
Yeah, so...
And I don't know what she wants, so I'll just wait until then to write up her stuff.
And my thief was very anti-thiefy. My thief was what my thief is. I think the problem, and we need to talk about characters too, I think, eventually, the way people play them. Too many people play thieves like they're selfish pricks. And I don't think that that's necessarily what a thief is going to be. Some people go into thievery because maybe they're starving on the streets. They're trying to feed their brothers, sisters, families, friends, whatever. All right, that becomes their profession. So that's why you can have thieves. And I've just seen so many people that when they play a thief, they play it like an asshole. And that's just stupid. I think that's just the person playing is an asshole, and they think, oh, this is how a thief is going to be, and this is how I am in life. If I wish I was a D&D thief. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've just seen too many people. What do you think about that?
Who would you be referring to as?
Well, I'm not. Well, we had the one guy used to come, and every time he was a thief, he's like, "I'm a thief." So, and he would even his mannerisms would be like king of the jerks, and he was just always screwing the party over. There was another thief that came in encounters. Remember, he'd always sneak around and just not be open with the party. And I really think that a thief that's a member of the party
You gotta be open with the rest of your party unless you want to get stabbed in the back.
Yeah. So I just think too many people play thieves like an asshole instead of like a thief. And that's...
If you're in an adventuring party, you may not like other things, but you're gonna be different to those in your party because you have to trust those people.
Well, I admit, my character has pocketed a few things that she really needed.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to have the debate with the group over it. But I've given out so much more than I've ever taken in the long run. I mean, I footed, 60 million gold this weekend.
Yeah.
So how many thieves are going to, or how many regular party members are going to freaking do that for their group? They're not going to.
It depends, I think. It really depends on the person.
I've just run into too many people that wouldn't do that. I let the money flow free out of my character because eventually money's going to mean nothing to that character.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that when the time comes.
Yeah. But we had fun with that with the eye stalks and all. So, and the artificer actually was, I think he was thinking more along the lines of anything that he did was screw up his buffs.
Yeah.
And that's probably a good thing. I mean, he likes to buff everybody. I generally don't need the buffs.
It was funny because in the prison encounter, I'm like, place your figures, like I always do. And he just gets everybody's figures and he just places them in random spots and he's like, I'm just going to put you where you're going to end up because you always end up running away from me.
But he should understand with my character, I'll do what I can occasionally. Now, depending what we're fighting, I'm not going to go back into the group. If I know they're probably going to have burst attacks, I'm not getting hit by the burst attack. And I know that if you have a burst attack, you're going to do what's tactically smart. I may be far out of the burst. You're not going to go, I'm going to hit that thief. You're going to burst the group because if you can get the group out of play, you can screw me all you want.
Yeah.
That's what's tactical. But I don't want to take that damage. I'm no good if I'm down. My character does one thing very well, and that is deal a ton of damage.
And I don't think RPG Jim likes it that you're the most of the time the target of the dominates, but I think that is what the creatures would do once they had seen you hit.
Once they see me go and deal 90 points of damage, they're like, yeah, I'm dominating that guy.
Yeah. And if you think they just dominate some random creature, I don't think they'd be like that.
No, they're intelligent. Everything we're fighting here is intelligent.
Except for those last beholders. They were dumb.
But this was a lich, and liches are mages. They're super intelligent, and he sees that first attack where I just, chopped a big freaking hole out of that beholder with the 90 points of damage, and he's like, that's my target.
Yep.
So as a DM, you have to play that way. Don't play, let's randomly roll. Play smart.
Granted, with the beholders, I was playing random because that is really the way beholders are. They're just random.
They're just randomly shooting. They've got all these rays and they're pop, 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 pop. But, if you have an intelligent creature and they have something where they're like, I can use one of them against their party, they're gonna look at the field of battle just like any intelligent creature would. So you're doing the right thing. I think and I admit,
same thing with the party members. If the party members had something like that, they'd do the exact same thing.
And I will be doing the exact same thing because I took that domination ray.
Yeah. We'll see how that plays out. But I did put a recharge on that.
That's fine. All I need is to use it once and then I can move on. Because the domination ray, it does damage and it dominates.
Some things like that, whether or not it is a separate attack, it's going to have a recharge just because of what it does.
Yeah.
It might even become an encounter. I don't know.
That's up to you. I mean, I don't care. I just, I admit as a player, when I'm sitting there and I'm always the one getting dominated, I start getting pissed off. I'm like, oh, you dick. Because I know you're going to do it.
Yeah.
I know who's getting dominated because you're like, oh, I've never played one of those rogues like that. I'm going to use your rogue and screw your party.
Yes.
And it's annoying to me, but it's kind of funny because I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that was the end of the weekend encounter set, or it's not encounters, it's our regular D&D group. And, it was a lot of fun. I think we had a lot of fun with the role-playing. We had a lot of fun deciding what we were going to do with all those rays.
Yeah. And
I think the druid's going to have fun with her ray when she comes back, once it's on her staff. She's going to be like, ooh, this is a lot better than magic stones.
Ooh, hello, there, be teleporting.
But, you were saying about Q&A.
All right, so I saw...
Now, here's the thing. RPGNate needs to actively start logging in to our thing and maybe doing some write-ups. I do everything on the RPG's channel site. I would like to see him start putting some input in that way, other than just on our random vlogs and on our podcast. So I told him he needed to look at some stuff that was on there, because there was some stuff directed directly towards him.
Yeah.
And he finally
and
looked.
I did see that. I forget your name, sorry.
It's like, I'm so tired I don't remember. It's like Remos or something like that.
Yeah, Remos.
I'm sorry if we're getting your name wrong.
I don't know how to pronounce it. It looks like that. So
Well, it might be. But anyway.
But I saw your question asking if I would post my campaign stuff like the world. Yeah, I'll try.
One thing you should do, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but you shouldn't post the entire campaign. You can post some general stuff like maps and all, because you don't want us, you don't want us having player DM knowledge that we shouldn't have.
No, the maps history. I forget the other thing, but I will post that. I still have a lot of work to do on the campaign, so.
And you know what, we should probably go ahead and when you start posting some stuff. Maybe post some links to like the one where it gives you the random generation idea.
I don't know where that is. I think I might. I know the site, but I don't remember.
But I haven't been able to find it on his site, so I've got to see if I've got it bookmarked somewhere. I might have it somewhere. I've just got to look.
He has a lot of posts.
But we need to put some of that stuff up. I don't care if we're sending people to somebody else's blog, because if it's helpful and it's something that helps us, it doesn't hurt to put stuff like that up to say, hey, there's some stuff that's really helpful. Go ahead and take a look at it, because stuff like that is going to save not just you but other DMs a lot of work.
Yeah.
But anyway, that answers the one question that we saw.
I did post a comment, but if you didn't see the comment, there you go.
But honestly, if people want to put up questions on the blog, or I need to put a contact thing up, maybe I'll put a contact page, and you guys can send questions through the comments, and we'll go ahead and answer them in either our Monday or our Thursday podcasts. If it's something that really is detailed, or we can just make up a cool vlog over with a 5 to 10 minute time range, then we'll do that there.
It looks. He was asking. I think he was also asking if I would do it in a vlog. We'll see. I don't know if I'll do it that way. I don't know how I'll do it.
All I know is I'm going to kill your bird in a minute. But anyway, that's a Q&A. We're going to finish up some minis. Like I said, a good idea for you. We're getting late start on it, but we've really jerked around since Friday on video games.
When did you post this challenge thingy?
I think last Tuesday, maybe.
We've had a week.
I know, and that's why I posted the challenge too, because I'm sure other people do the same thing. They let life get in the way and other stuff, which we did, and we're going to paint today, and we'll post our minis tomorrow.
Yeah.
And today we'll have this podcast up. But I've got a lot of work to do with the blog itself, because I really want to get podcast hosting and iTunes set up. We have other personal stuff that I have to take care of today. I got so much crap to take care of, it's insane.
Yeah. I'm probably going to start working on a mini after this. I'll get some pictures up of that. I'll probably paint a wizard and give it to the wizard in the party for helping us with the maps and all.
I think we have some metal wizards. I would use one of those.
Yeah. I'll paint the Gandalf one.
I'll take your Gandalf. I'm going to take my mini. That's fine. Yeah. But anyway, this is the end of our this week's weekend gaming wrap up. Be sure to rate, like, subscribe, favorite, subscribe, whatever the hell it is on YouTube.
Rate, favorite, subscribe,
and make sure follow the RSS feed. Once we get the iTunes and everything set up, we'll have a pure iTunes RSS set up, so look for that and subscribe there as well.
Yeah.
But that's it. Thanks for listening. This is RPG Dad signing off.
Bye.
And we're going to kill that bird in a second if you're hearing it. Bye.
Bye.